First of all, I want to say thank you to Congresswoman for this amazing organization and all the work you've done, this incredible panel. Amari Hardwick, I gotta say, who's a brother of mine, has been influential in so many ways. One, being a part of the Power family. He certainly was truly the one who planted the seed for me to be a part of the show. So I'm grateful for you always and forever. But also, he also is the brother who brought me to 5,000, you know? And so I say to the role models, thank you, because you are a role model, brother. It is personal in so many ways, as I hear Sister Pringle talk about the education, Brother Duvall, and accountability. What Amari is talking about in terms of getting something, giving something, give something back. Brother Benjamin, and what you were letting these brothers know about their freedom and taking full advantage of that. This is deeply personal to me and how things are being, I see how it's shaped. When we deal with the notion of over-policing our communities and people who don't look like us governing over us always, policing us, and we always feeling that we have to see our lives through a different people's point of view or lens. It's important for us to take that back, to make sure we understand who we are as a group and how groupism is really important, right? My mother comes from a family of 13 brothers and sisters. My father comes from 8. She has 7 brothers. My father had 3 brothers. And out of those 10 men, all of them have had some sort of brush with the law. I have 2 brothers myself, Lamar and Lorano here. We all have had some sort of brush or encounter with policing. I always tell my 4 boys that I proudly share with my wife, Thomasina, that in this journey, especially here in this world in America, anti-blackness is global and it's real. We are in a highly racist, racial society that will choose to see black men as innately violent and criminal minded, as if this is something that we were born to be. And it's completely false, right? It is a narrative that needs to be eradicated. It is a narrative that does not bear any true weight, right? And so, in the things that I do in terms of my life work, I just make sure that I, as Amari pointed out, understand the identity of who I am and who my parents have made me, right? And we talk about solutions. Solutions is so important. There are gonna be a lot of challenges for black and brown boys because of the society that we're in, because how the system is designed and how it has been made. But we have to make sure that we overcome that and don't let what the narrative is define us. We have to define it ourselves. The brotherhood is important. This is a brotherhood that you see on this panel right now. Working together. In your journey, surround yourself with like minds and people who will be there. Look to each other. Specifically as I relate or share this with black boys and black men. Learn to trust each other. We've been taught not to trust each other. As black men, we have taught to see each other as opposition. We hear it all the time. Those are my ops. At what point did we become ops? To each other. How did that come about? Who put that in our minds? And why are we perpetuating it? We have to eradicate that opposition and this competitive nature that we have. That we should not be competing with each other, but we should complement one another.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's really important. And as we do the things that we're doing, we don't have to ask for permission when we have each other. I don't have to ask for permission to work with Amari or work with Brother Ben. I don't have to ask for permission, right? So look to each other, lean on each other. That is the brotherhood, right? And as you continue on and you become mentors, have that responsibility, have that accountability. Is deeply personal to me because I see the greatness in you. I go back home, I'll share this with my sons. My oldest boy, Miles, is 18 now. Just the whole world in front of him right now. My wife and I often, as parents, we can be a little worried because we understand all the distractions that Amari pointed out earlier. The things that, we didn't have to deal with. There's so many moving parts. And we understand that in any of our boys' journey, as they see them as these young black boys, that any of their missteps or their mistakes will be either the consequences will be greater. It's just as it relates to their white counterparts and people who don't look like them.
That's right.
The consequences are always better. Why we're here to talk about dismantling the preschool to prison pipeline, because in that there's social dynamics where we will make mistakes. We're flawed people, but when you are black and you're brown, your consequences are always greater. They're looking at us in preschool. They're looking at us in grammar school. They're looking at us in middle school. I had to have a conversation with a principal. When issues happen at this school, please never call the police again, especially as it relates to my son. We're here and we will be there to rectify whatever it is, because there's a big difference when the police show up and my black boy is the only one out of the group and they're looking at him. Now we're in a whole different situation. And so it's really important for us to remember where we came from and solutions in terms of what you're doing, having more people who look like you, training police officers, having representation in these places, whether they're educational institutions, colleges, schools, to have people who teach our children who look like us. It's a difference. As Duvall had said, when someone is using the foul language, as opposed to kicking them out, figure out what is going on, what is happening this early in the morning for you to do that, taking the time, and to see black men take responsibility to be mentors, to be involved with our children, to be involved in any capacity, to continue to love on each other. And this is why it's so deeply personal to me and what we continue to do to represent ourselves, but to inspire you, but also to learn and to listen. So we encourage you all to look to each other, believe in yourselves, take this very personally. It's necessary. Thank you. I love y'all.